On a cold, rainy afternoon, the house was too quiet. Two children, a boy and his younger sister, Sally, sat by the window, their faces pressed against the glass as they watched the raindrops race down the pane. Their mother had gone out for the day, leaving them with strict instructions to stay inside and keep the house tidy. But as the hours dragged on, the boredom grew unbearable. The toys in the corner seemed dull, the books on the shelf uninteresting, and even the fish in his little bowl swam in slow, lazy circles, as if he too felt the weight of the dreary day. "I wish something exciting would happen," the boy sighed, slumping back into his chair. Sally nodded in agreement, her pigtails bouncing as she leaned her chin on her hands. Just as the words left his mouth, there was a loud bang at the front door. The children jumped, their eyes wide with surprise. Before they could react, the door swung open, and in walked a tall, lanky figure wearing a red and white striped hat and a bright red bow tie. His grin was as wide as the horizon, and his eyes sparkled with mischief. "Good afternoon, kiddos," he boomed, his voice full of energy. "I'm the Cat in the Hat, and I'm here to turn this boring day into an adventure." The children stared at him, unsure whether to laugh or scream. Their pet fish, however, had no such hesitation. "You should not be here," the fish exclaimed, his tiny voice trembling with worry. "Their mother is not home, and you will get them into trouble." The cat waved a paw dismissively. "Oh, don't be such a worrywart," he said, stepping further into the house. "A little fun never hurt anyone." With that, he set down the large box he was carrying and pulled out an umbrella. But this was no ordinary umbrella, it was a magical one, capable of balancing the most unlikely objects. The cat began his performance, balancing a teacup, a milk jug, a cake, and even the fishbowl on the tip of the umbrella, all while standing on a ball. The children clapped and laughed, their boredom forgotten. But the fish continued to protest, his tiny fins flapping in frustration. "This is not a good idea," he shouted. "You're going to break something." The cat, however, was unstoppable. "Now, for my next trick," he announced, "I'll introduce you to Thing 1 and Thing 2. He opened the box, and out burst two small blue-haired creatures with wild grins and boundless energy. They zoomed around the room, knocking over furniture, flying kites, and causing chaos wherever they went. The children tried to keep up, but the house was soon a complete mess. Books were scattered, curtains were torn, and even the walls had smudges of paint. The fish swam in frantic circles, his voice growing shrill. "Stop this at once! You're ruining the house!" But the cat just laughed and said, "Don't worry, it's all under control." As the chaos grew, the children began to feel uneasy. What would their mother say when she came home and saw the mess? The fish, now more frantic than ever, pleaded with the cat to leave. Finally, the cat seemed to realize the trouble he had caused. With a snap of his fingers, he called Thing 1 and Thing 2 back into the box and pulled out a mysterious machine. "This," he declared, "is the Cleanuptron 3000. The machine whirred to life, zooming around the house and putting everything back in its place. The books returned to the shelves, the curtains were mended, and the walls were spotless once more. By the time the machine finished, the house looked as good as new." The cat tipped his hat to the children and said, "Remember, fun is important, but so is responsibility." With that, he disappeared out the door just as their mother was walking in. She looked around the tidy house and smiled. "What a peaceful day you must have had," she said. The children exchanged a knowing glance and smiled back. They had learned an important lesson about balancing fun and responsibility, all thanks to the whirlwind visit of the Cat in the Hat.